Lesson 9. Together with everyone, pupils will be able to understand and speak on togetherness. Identify different means and objects of communication in the past and present. Understand different types of communication both in human and animals. Understand the different feelings and their gestures. Anuradha resides in Kondapuram with her grandparents. Her mother and father work in Palamaneru. Her mother made a phone call to Anuradha. Mother: Hello, Anuradha. How are you? Anuradha: I am fine, Amma. Mother: How is your health? How are you studying? Anuradha: I am fine. Studying well, Amma. Now I am eating all the vegetables as you said. How about Nana and Akka? Mother: They are doing well. Good news, Anu. Today Yupini has given birth to a baby girl. What are they doing? How did they talk with each other? Communication. Expressing ideas and exchange of thoughts and feelings to others is called communication. We communicate our feelings by using body language like looking, nodding head, waving hand and legs, etc. These are also means of communication like speaking. How can you say, I don't know, without speaking, in action or a gesture?
Look at the following pictures. Picture 1. Picture 2. What are the children in picture 1 doing? How are they communicating with each other? What are the picture 2 doing? How are they communicating with each other? Do you know? Dancers. Mime artists use different forms of sign language. Dancers use mudras to express feelings and emotions. How do we communicate? The purpose of communication is to share our feelings and ideas with others. One can communicate with each other in two different ways. 1. Verbal communication. 2. Non-verbal communication, inverbal communication. People communicate with each other by talking directly or over a phone. In non-verbal communication, one expresses his or her feelings and gestures and others understand those feelings and gestures. Activity. Observe the given expressions in the pictures. These are called emojis. Communication can happen in two ways. 1. Direct communication. 2. Indirect communication. Direct communication. Talking with your friends, teachers, parents is direct communication. Here people can share their feelings with body gestures. Shaking hands is direct communication.
Indirect communication. We get information when we watch television. This is called indirect communication. We use different means to communicate indirectly like postcards, phone call, mail, text message, etc. Elders talk. Talk to your elders about how they communicate with others who live far away. History of communication primitive to digital. Look at the following picture. These were the methods of communication in ancient times. In ancient days, people communicated with people who are far away by way drumming, giving signals through a smoke, sending letters with birds like pigeons, human runners or with horse riders, from one village to another. Nowadays we communicate with people far away through emails, text messages, through messenger apps, etc. Do you know how the hearing impaired communicate? Look at the given signs. Communicating through signs is called sign language. Deaf and dumb people use sign language to communicate with others. Why communication? Think and discuss. Have you seen a scarecrow, Disty Bomber? Why do farmers put scarecrows in the fields? Look at the picture. Farmers put up scarecrows to keep away birds from pecking the grains. Birds assume them to be human beings on guard. This is also a communication. Have you ever seen ants communicating with each other? How do ants communicate? They touch their legs and head to communicate with each other. Can animals and birds communicate with each other? Do you know how animals communicate? Birds and animals express their anger, affection, fear through different ways. Different animals communicate in different ways. 1. Visual communication. Tortoises and snails retract their head whenever they feel threatened. Dogs wave their tail when they feel happy. 2. Auditory communication. Elephants trumpet to talk to other herds over long distances. Wolves howl to call other wolves in the pack. Have you ever experienced your pet dog licking you? What does this mean? 3. Communication through touch, tactile. Dogs and cats lick their pups and kittens to show affection and clean their elbows and stimulate. Monkeys and baboons groom each other to show love. Do you know? A waggle dance is a type of visual communication in bees. The worker bees communicate about food mainly through a dance language. 4. Chemical communication. Cats rub against objects to mark their scent. Snakes and dogs use their sense of smell to identify enemies. Keywords: communication, sign language, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, telephone, mobile phones, visual communications, auditory communications, waggle dance. What we have learned: communication as the transfer of information from one to another. Communication is of two types. Point 1. Direct communication. 2. Indirect communication. We use postcard, cell phones, internet to communicate indirectly. In verbal communication, people communicate with each other by talking directly or over a phone. In non-verbal communications, one expresses his/her feelings and gestures and the other understands those feelings and gestures. Animals also communicate with each other by visual, auditory, touch and chemical means. Use appropriate devices to communicate in different situations. Show love and affection towards the animal.